Eurotrex is going to cancel our contract because we don't have a recycling program. We don't have best environmental practices.
Yes, yes. It's very serious. Yes, Western winter.
Implementing recycling all over. Rick, why don't you come over here?
Styrofoam?
And I'm almost 90% positive she's scheduled a meeting to come and tell us that the whole contract's off. Okay, here's the status on the program. City of Ventura Environmental Services Office has set us up with a great recycling program, but according to Eurotrex, our program has failed miserably.
I could have predicted that. We had no organization on it. We didn't plan it out. We should have done some engineering studies on it.
Engineered studies, you know what? I don't even know. I don't know what you're talking about.
We needed it, right?
I was thinking the numbers. What's it going to do to the numbers? It's killing our cost to put in all these recycling programs. But I'll tell you, the numbers are coming down. We're saving money. Our expenses are going down. This recycling plan's been great for us.
And that was the information we just didn't get across to her. This Eurotrex company, they're going to cancel their contracts with our company. They're a European country that incorporates best environmental practices. And I bet without using engineered studies. And if we don't have recycling...
The numbers would have been backed up by the engineering studies, and it would have convinced her a lot quicker, would have convinced her a lot more that this is an orderly, good program that's going to be sustainable over a long period of time.
Well, does this, what's this? Does this help us? This doesn't help us recycle.
Yes, it does.
I mean, what is this
Plan it
thing?
out. You have to quantify stuff, Ray. That way you can link up the savings with the actual recycling plan, and you've got a good program to take in her and say, look, this works.
This is all academic discussion because the lady from Europe, she's the daughter of the president of Eurotrex. She's here to give us one last chance. And Robert, don't open your mouth, please. Don't say anything about engineered studies. I'm begging you, Robert. Don't mention engineered studies. Robert had all his engineering stuff on with it. I knew he was going to ruin it if he opened his mouth. I had to take that management decision and tell him not to talk to her. You know, Derek, you talk about the recycling end of it. That's great. I mean, the art end of it. Larry, you talk about the finance end of it. Dynamite. But the engineered stuff here, can we? In fact, let's hide this stuff.
That stuff.
Hide the engineered.
Ray, Colette is here to share her thoughts with us.
Oh yeah, Colette, come on.
So I brought Colette over into the conference room, and we walk in, and Ray is like sprawled on the table. There's stuff all over next to Robert. I don't know what's going on with this, some weird tug of war.
He starts grabbing my plans and my instruments and my calculator and everything. It was a real problem there. He was getting very violent.
Colette, the staff team.
Oh, well, welcome. This is our key staff here, and as you requested, I assembled our top managers so they can answer your questions directly about our state-of-the-art dynamic recycling program.
Okay, there is only like 3 questions I have. First, I want to speak of the financial improvement you have seen in your company.
We have had excellent financial return. I mean, I was amazed when I first started this. I really thought that this was just going to cost us money. And to me, it's all about the numbers. The management wants to see the numbers turn in good. And we've had good numbers. Our expenses are down. We're saving money in so many areas.
Yes, I concur.
Okay. The other thing I want to hear is from the person who is putting in the management of all the environmental things.
Oh, yes. Yes, we have just implemented so many wonderful recycling programs, and they're all been very positive for the entire staff, really.
Okay, I have my third question. My third question is for the mind behind the program, the engineering type people.
I can speak all about the engineering part. No, let me tell you about engineering. He's really hard. He's really hard to understand. He's an engineer.
He asked me not to talk to the Eurotech. Well, I knew the Eurotech would come in and want to talk to everybody. I just had that feeling that she would just not want to go through Ray because she's seen enough problems here in this company, just, looking around, that she'd probably want to ask everybody to get a full picture of what's going on here.
Now,
This program could be so much better. If we had an engineering program that was implemented with good studies and
Yes.
Oh,
formalization.
no, wait a minute. No.
Good
She doesn't know
study,
engineering. No,
formalization.
this is a complicated
The
stuff. You're not an
program
engineer.
would work.
I am engineering competent. Papa sent me to engineering school in Germany for 3 years.
I didn't know, I couldn't understand what was going on, that this lady from France could actually understand what Robert was saying. It was the weirdest thing. I didn't know what to do. It was a total shock to me that they could actually understand each other.
I understand everything he is saying. Go on, please.
The money
Oh,
numbers
boy.
work out, but there's no backup for them.
Yes,
There's no
I've
cause
seen
and
this.
effect on that. So the monies might just be a casual thing, a causal,
Exactly.
not a causal relationship.
Exactly.
You need to do the engineering study first
Brilliant.
in order to establish the causal relationship between what you're doing and the
This
money you're
is
saving.
it. I believe you and we should go and allow me to pickle your brain some more.
You know what? He's got all this important engineering work to do. Look at it. He's
Sir,
got to work
sir,
on
sir.
this. I don't think he has time for that. He's a busy man. Right? You don't have time,
Shall we
right?
now?
You don't have
Come
time.
with me.
I really felt that finally I had somebody to listen to me, and that really made me feel good. That really made me feel good because up until then it was just, shut up, Robert, put your plans away, put your formulas away, put your slide rule away, and now I was able to talk to somebody who understood about slide rules and formulas and calculators.
We will talk to you later.
Robert, no, wait a minute. I don't you.
Do you like coffee?
They seem to actually have some kind of click going on here, and Robert left with her and went out on the tour.
They just kind of connected on some weird level, and I was totally floored. And Robert walks out with Colette, and then they're like this, walking and having coffee, and I don't know. I was really stunned.
I have to say, this whole thing with Robert and this lady from Eurotrek, this is I'm very uncomfortable with this. Right now, they're out doing some tour with just the two of them. I don't like this at all.
Well, at least recycling is happening, and they seem to be getting along.
I do not know what he's saying half the time. I know he's just going to ruin it for us. All right, well,
Think positive.
I got to change in the subject. I had a great time in the Compost Workshop on
Yeah.
Saturday. Sometimes the responsibilities of this company and this recycling program gets to be a little too much, but I enjoyed my day with Marion. I admit that. That was fun.
It was interesting.
Yeah.
It was participatory, and we learned so much.
Yeah, I didn't know you can compost eggshells, coffee grounds,
Yeah.
orange peels, all these kitchen scraps I used to throw in the trash. Now I know how to compost them in my backyard
Right.
and nourish all my plants in my yard.
Quite educational. And all those earthworms.
Yeah,
that
they
come
taught us
up.
how to use earthworms
the
too.
redworms.
People that have apartments and they don't have room for compost bins,
Right.
they can have a worm colony to compost their kitchen scraps. Boy, I know the city of Ventura does these compost workshops periodically. I would love to do one again. And this is the guide they give. It's called the Resource Efficient Yard Care.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. It's free. All people have to do is call the City of Ventura Environmental Services Office, and it gives tips on how to compost, how to mulch in your yard, how to avoid using toxic chemicals in
That's
their
right.
yard.
That's right.
It even gives you plans on how to make a worm bin in your own house or your own yard.
And troubleshooting.
Troubleshooting guide. I can't believe. And grass cycling. Like there's a great article
Right.
in here that tells you how when you mow your lawn, leave the grass clippings on the lawn.
Composting doesn't smell bad. Everyone
Yeah.
thinks it's going to end up smelling bad, and it doesn't at all.
After that free compost workshop at the City of Ventura, I've had a great idea.
Oh.
I think that we need to set up a compost site here at our business, out in the break area, that outdoor little garden we have.
That's a great idea.
So I went ahead, I bought a compost bin. In fact, the City of Ventura subsidizes the cost of compost bins.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that.
So
Right.
I bought one, and I've set it
Oh.
up. We're going to start composting here at our business, all the people that bring their food scraps instead of throwing them in the trash.
What a great idea.
Well, come on out and I'll go show you our new
okay, let's
compost
do that. I'd
bin.
love
Yeah.
to see it.
Yeah, let's
I
go.
think that's great.
Yeah, you're going to love it. Let's
oh,
go.
definitely.
Isn't this exciting? This is where we're going to have the compost bin set up right here. We're going to have all the employees throw their food scraps in here, like their old pieces of bread and that sort of thing. And then once we compost it, we can what my grand vision here is, and I learned this at the Compost Workshop.
Right, yeah.
Remember the part they said that how it's great for growing vegetables?
Yes.
Okay, we'll create an organic garden here.
What a great idea.
Using the compost to fertilize it, and we'll let the employees have all the fresh vegetables.
Oh, I'm so glad you thought of this.
I wouldn't have thought of it if I hadn't have gone to the Compost Workshop.
And then he showed me the new compost bin that he has out there, and we're talking about composting our scraps and organic garden, and I mean, that's really, really cool.
That was like a door opening for me. Marion and I had a wonderful time at the Compost Workshop. I gotta say, in the last 2 weeks of this craziness, that Compost Workshop, God, it just brings a smile to my face. We had a wonderful time.
And it was a free workshop.
Yeah, it's free and it doesn't cost anything. You know what?
Right.
It was a real eye-opener. I am just thrilled. And the next thing we can do is we have 2 compost bins.
Oh, okay.
And we
yeah,
can...
right. Oh.
I've been through that before. I imagine you've gone through that at
Oh, what
Eurotech with the
have we
spacing.
here?
Ray, what you doing here? What is this?
Yeah, and then we saw saw Colette and Robert, they're laughing and joking, and it was like, whoa.
We're out there at the compost bin. Robert walks up, and boy, he and Colette are just chummy as ever. And I'm starting to sweat here. Oh, this is a compost bin. We're going to set up a compost bin here.
I have done a lot of composting. I've done a lot of studies on it. I've studied gas diffusion. I've studied flammability. I've studied fire safety. I've done analysis on the whole process of composting from initial conception all the way through to the final product planted in the ground.
Full of information.
I'm rather experienced on that.
Why is it Robert knows everything about everything? He acts on and expounds how he is the expert on composting.
And
You are right.
I've even established a composting program for the golf course. And I was wondering, if maybe you would like to see it tomorrow.
Of course.
I would do a round of golf, and then we could have a late breakfast or brunch at lunch at the restaurant, and then check out the composting. Would you be interested?
The way you say that, it's like poetry.
I'll pick you up at 8 o'clock tomorrow then. Okay?
Charming.
On with the tour. On with
Robert.
the tour.
Oh my God. Did you see that?
Are they friends or what's going on?
Oh, they seem to be really getting along.
I do not like this at all. There's this could be a power shift that really worries me. I'm reading this book called The Effective Leadership Habits, and one thing you don't allow in the workplace is these odd power shifts that go on, and I need to do something about it, but I don't know what to do about it. So anyway, we have to get those recycle bins in both these shops.
Fantastic.
You are doing so well yourself.
It was absolutely fantastic. It was just so incredible.
Such a
when you were
beautiful
on there.
place.
Yeah, Ray, would you mind taking these? Thank you. Thanks very much.
It's the best thing
Really
for me.
appreciate it. Yeah, it was really great. And
I feel
what'd you
so
think-
much better.
What'd you think of the recycling program on that on the restaurant that I showed you? It was just so nice having someone understanding what I was talking about. It was just so beautiful, and having, being able to talk to another professional at my level.
Brilliant.
What do you think of that? Yeah, I planned that thing, and we'd worked it out with all kinds of engineering plans. And we looked at gas diffusion.
I just love
really
the way
worked out
this
fantastic.
is.
Yes, Rick?
Did you want something?
Well, we're just going to show you some plans that we've done here to rework the recycling program here to make it more efficient. Suddenly I started thinking of plans for this company, how we could improve things, and I had a sympathetic and an understanding and a knowledgeable ear. That was just so fantastic. It was just so beautiful. It made my whole day. It made my whole day. You have theory, all right, which establishes the parameters of a program, and then you put it into formulas, and that's how you do your planning, which eventually comes out in the results. So as I said one time before, the theory matches up with the results, so the results are provable when you go up on budget hearings then.
He knows exactly what I am thinking before I say
And
it.
that's how we did it, and that's how we can do it with Comatron's recycling program here.
This man is
good.
saying things that I have not heard before here.
We have recycling container. We have in every desk. We have a paper one and a blue one. And
When you have the formula, you can use that as a standard.
They come into my office. Robert hands me his golf clubs and says, "Take care of these." And And then they're chattering like I'm not even there, and then they spread out the plans, and Robert expounds on this sustainability theory that he's talked to me a million times before. I don't know what he's talking about.
You use that as a standard to evaluate how you're doing.
Well,
We can,
Don't worry, he's not an engineer like we understand.
Thank you.
Well, I know I'm not an engineer, but I know something about recycling.
But you really need to do it to get the whole process down to make it work.
Okay, the communal recycle bins at the copy machines. I mean, there's no engineering plan for those. The space looks great to me.
I know,
don't-
but if you don't have the standard to judge it by, Mademoiselle, if you don't have the standard to judge it by, you can't keep quality assurance on there. The program is just kind of.
He doesn't know what he's talking about. You just need a recycling container. Look, you at every desk, you just need a blue one and a paper one.
Let me show
In the
you.
communal areas, no, he's going to start doing this, the
Sustainability
sustainability formula
or
again.
ST,
Oh, no,
recycling.
Robert, not the sustainability
That
formula. I don't
equals-
understand how this has any
We
connection to
have this-
recycling.
We have
Little
this in
Sigma.
Europe.
You know, what they don't understand is I have an MBA. I went to graduate school. I understand the dynamics of power shifts. I understand theories. I understand formulas. And they don't give me enough credit for these kind of things because they're engineers and they think they understand a whole world that I don't understand. It's really frustrating.
The nth,
Okay.
the 10th power.
But
Exactly.
I don't
Yes,
understand, Mrs.
Little Sigma.
Colette, Your Highness. I don't
Recycling.
understand.
Establishes
You don't
how we
need
can
to
establish a
understand.
sustainable recycling
It is
program.
true.
Huh?
It is true.
This is the basic for all of your programs
It's-
that you do. It's a formulatic basis that you can use to evaluate the performance of your program.
Absolutement.
I am an MBA.
Been
I have a
against it.
graduate
Been
degree,
against it.
and I don't understand what this means.
But
I
you've
don't
been against this
understand
formula from the beginning. You've never wanted it, so you've gone by your own show. You've never applied this formula, and that's why there's chaos in the recycling program.
I've seen it for myself.
What are your thoughts about the recycling program? Is Eurotrex going to?
We will be looking at this by the
No,
standard.
hold
see
it,
what
right?
the
No, I was
established efficiency-
talking to Eurotrex. I wasn't
Oh.
talking to.
Oh.
How long was your tour? Did you guys?
We saw everything.
18 holes,
Uh,
coffee,
Yeah.
baguettes. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, the baguettes, delicious.
And again, I was really, glad that you were impressed by that composting program out there. She's a wonderful golfer, my Colette. She is a wonderful, wonderful golfer, and she's very compatible to talk with, and it's just wonderful having another professional to be able to talk with and understand me. That's what happens when you apply theory, formulate it out, and plan it out properly.
Wait a minute. You agree that we need to do that?
It makes perfect sense to me. Perfect.
All right. I want to accommodate everything I can do for Eurotrex to make the appropriate decision. So I'll tell you what. I'll study up on the sustainability formula.
All right, good.
Good. That's good if I do that? Okay. I'll
You should.
study up on
Yes,
that.
yes.
And
Really need to, Raymond.
I have to listen to Robert, act like I'm understanding, because the daughter of the president of Eurotrex is sitting right there, and she's the one that holds the whole power over our company. She's the one that has the power to cut the contract. It was a harrowing experience. I want Eurotrex to be happy, and if Robert's engineered study plan here is going to make Eurotrex happy, then okay, you're
Yes.
welcome to use my office.
Could you bring us coffee, please?
Coffee?
Yeah, do you have any donuts left, Ray?
I'll go get coffee and donuts.
Thank you. Thank you.
I had to go get him coffee and donuts. I'm the CEO of this company, and I have to serve coffee and donuts to my engineer now. I have to read some of my books, refer to some of my MBA textbooks to figure out what to do in this situation. I don't know. I'm at a loss.
Papa and I have had a very long conversation by telephone last night, and we are in complete agreement. Complete agreement. There is going to be a renewal of our business contract.
Yes! We got the Eurotrex account back, guys. Eurotrex was renewing his contract with their company. It was the happiest moment of my life. For weeks and weeks and weeks, this has been the point of worry, and I celebrate. I think at one point I was hugging Marion.
There is some stipulations.
Oh.
There is room for much improvement here. Much improvement here. And there is a need for a new position, and Eurotech will be having a new liaison that will be checking up with you. This man is strong.
I knew she was leading up to somebody being that person that was going to be the liaison, the in-between person. Somehow, I guess I had a feeling it was going to be me. I think it's because Colette always gave me this little smile on the side of her mouth when she saw me, and there's a little glint in her eye, and you know, I really hadn't talked to her much, but I thought we actually had a little bit of a rapport.
He's intelligent, but very understandable. This man is the perfect man for a liaison in this situation, to make sure that we move from where we are to where we will be. And this man is my new friend, Robert.
Oh my God.
Mademoiselle!
I got a wonderful surprise at that meeting when Colette chose me to be the Eurotech representative for this company, and that I would have final say over their recycling plans, over their operations here.
See!
Your friend.
No.
See!
He understands the engineering.
Oh.
The engineering brings you to the success. And this is what my father and I agree.
Hold it. You mean you're giving us the account back, but Robert now will be working for Eurotrek and will make sure that it's going.
Yes? You have problems?
What happens if Robert doesn't like our recycling program, or he doesn't agree with the direction we move?
Or where we've placed items.
Or
and
yeah, if we don't do
bins and-
spatial.
Robert is the eyes, the ears, and the arm of Eurotech here. And you must accept this if you accept our new contract.
This is horrible news. Now, the way this works now is Robert, the engineer, is now working for Eurotrek. And if he does not like our recycling program, he has the authority to cancel the contract with our company.
Any more questions?
No.
Then, Robert, are you prepared to go to France and meet Papa?
Yes, mademoiselle.
You know, what they don't understand is I have an MBA. I went to graduate school. I understand the dynamics of power shifts. I understand theories. I understand formulas. And they don't give me enough credit for these kind of things because they're engineers and they think they understand a whole world that I don't understand. It's really frustrating.
Oui, mademoiselle.
Okay, let's go pack your bag.
Tell me that didn't just happen.
What are we gonna do?
I have to be careful because Robert can cancel our contract. So I tell you what, I'm just going to do my best. I'm just going to move with it as best I can and try to keep my sanity. On the bright spot, Marion and I are planning some more environmental excursions, and at least I'm going to have wonderful weekends to look forward to. So I don't know. We'll just see what happens. Who knows what's going to happen, but I'll tell you one thing. It's going to be really interesting.